Hello then, welcome to the news at 6. I'm Tracy Shilshi and I'll be taking you through this Monday evening's news developing at this very moment. So let's start with the headlines. As India prepares to shake off the tag of being one of the most polluted countries, Prime Minister Narendra Modi rolls out the new Air Quality Index for 10 cities. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley promises reasonable compliance rules on black money, insists India is neither a tax haven nor does it support tax terrorism. 800 more Indians evacuated from war-torn Yemen since last night. Close to 3,000 stranded citizens have been brought home so far. India's first indigenous Scorpene submarine is undocked in Mumbai. The submarine is expected to be commissioned in 2016. And in a span of 4 hours, militants strike 3 times in Jammu and Kashmir. At least 3 policemen are killed. But first, Prime Minister Narendra Modi blames changing lifestyles for rising pollution levels in the country. With India having the not-so-flattering distinction of being one of the most polluted countries in the world, the Prime Minister today blamed the economic development that have brought these lifestyle changes. He said this while rolling out a new air quality index for 10 cities.
A ranking of 174 out of 178 countries for air quality. 2014's most polluted city on earth as the national capital. Distinction of having 13 of the 20 most polluted cities in this world. These are tags that India has to live with on a daily basis. Not the best of distinctions, but something that we all need to sit up and take notice of. As the quality of air in our cities deteriorates and becomes an increasing health hazard, the government seems to have finally sat up and decided to do something about it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a new air quality index for 10 cities across the country on Monday.
हम कार्बन एमिशन को रोकने के लिए जो सारे नीति नियम बना रहे हैं, विश्व के अंदर एक बंधनों की दिशा में हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन हम कोई अपनी लाइफस्टाइल बदलने के लिए तैयार नहीं है.
Prime Minister Modi believes that changing lifestyles spurred by economic development are to blame for rising pollution levels. He has urged Indians to cut down on waste and conserve resources even as they become wealthier, in case we want to avoid an environmental catastrophe.
अच्छा, कुछ लोगों ने मान लिया कि पर्यावरण की रक्षा और विकास दोनों को आमने सामने, ये सोच मूलभूत गलत है. दोनों को साथ साथ चलाया जा सकता है, दोनों को साथ साथ आगे बढ़ाया जा सकता है. कुछ डूज एंड डोंट्स होते हैं, इसका पालन होना चाहिए.
Modi also urged all Indians to set an example when it came to protecting the environment.
शोषण ये हमारी प्रवृत्ति नहीं है और इसलिए विश्व इस संकट से जो गुजर रहा है, मैं अभी भी मानता हूं कि दुनिया को इस क्षेत्र में बचाने के लिए नेतृत्व भारत ने करना चाहिए.
Millions die due to air pollution every year. In India, the number stands at over 6,20,000 people. Much of the air pollution in the country comes from coal-fired power plants, crop burning, domestic cooking with firewood or cow dung, and diesel-run vehicles. Black carbon, which constitutes most of the tiny particulate matter known as PM 2.5, is also blamed for up to 20% of global warming. A WHO study says Delhi has an annual average of 153 micrograms of PM 2.5 per cubic meter, a highly dangerous air to breathe in. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley today insisted that every legitimate financial demand can't be termed tax terrorism. He also assured the industry that black money holders will be given a rational option to comply with the law and come clean on black money.
A reasonable compliance rule to bring black money is what Finance Minister Arun Jaitley assured industry on Monday. Jaitley was referring to the undisclosed foreign income and assets imposition of Tax Bill 2015 tabled in Lok Sabha last month. The new bill imposes a 300% penalty along with rigorous imprisonment of up to 3 to 10 years for offenders.
The legislature or the legislation to be approved is fair enough to say there will be a compliance window. All suggestions with regard to that compliance window and its manner and extent of compliance, all suggestions are welcome. Parliament is yet to consider it. But after that, globally also let us remember the regime is becoming extremely challenging.
Jaitley said that while India's tax regime won't be confrontational, he said it won't allow the country to be a tax haven either. Jaitley also emphasized that defaulters should pay valid demands by tax authorities. The remarks come just 2 days after tax authorities slapped tax notices on 100 foreign institutional investors to pay $5 to $6 billion for untaxed gains made by them in 2011, 2012 and earlier.
Even when legitimate taxes are demanded, where courts have settled issues, even though they may be demands of the past, amendments have been made for the future. If people are aggrieved, they have a right to challenge it. But having lost in courts, you can't refer to the process as tax terrorism.
Finance Minister also said the Goods and Services Tax Constitutional Amendment Bill will be moved in the second half of the budget session of Parliament.
Arun Jaitley asserted that governments globally are moving towards a more transparent tax regime, and with the G20 provisions of automatic exchange of information, disclosures and compliances would only increase. Swiss Bank has also upped black money vigil after India threatened criminal action. So how far would these efforts help India in unearthing black money? Well, that remains to be seen. Reporting from Delhi with camera person Sanjay Kumar, Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Now ahead of RBI's monetary policy review tomorrow, markets today had a good run. The BSE Sensex rose by over 244 points to settle the day at 28,504. The run was mainly driven by strong rally in healthcare and realty stocks. The 50-share NSE Nifty 2 regaining the crucial 8,600 mark and settled higher by about 74 points or 0.86% at 8,659. Banking stocks, of course, came under selling pressure with ICICI, HDFC, Punjab National Bank and Bank of India among the major losers. Sector-wise, of course, the realty sector index gained the most, followed by healthcare, FMCG, consumer durables and capital goods. However, unseasonal rains in the past few weeks could trigger a price rise of vegetables in coming months. According to a report by ASSOCHAM, the rains could bring down Rabi crops harvest by around 30%. Meanwhile, farmers in different parts of the country have been hit hard by the loss of crops.
Unseasonal rain and hailstorms across the country are taking a toll on Rabi crop. Massive crop loss has been reported from different parts of the country that would heavily impact harvest this season. Untimely rains have taken a toll on main Rabi crops such as wheat, oilseeds, pulses and vegetables and fruits. According to a report by ASSOCHAM, the overall damage to Rabi crops is pegged around 30% this year. India has already been forced to import the highest amount of wheat in the last 5 years to tackle the crisis. What's worse, the prices of vegetables could go up following this loss. Vegetables like tomatoes, cauliflower and coriander have been the worst affected. Horticulture crops such as mangoes, bananas and grapes have also been affected and the impact could be seen in their prices. The unseasonal rains have also adversely affected the farmers. At least 40 farmers have committed suicide in Uttar Pradesh alone after rains damaged their crop. They have demanded compensation from the government.
पापा खेत पे गए थे और गेहूं बो रखे थे 10 बीघे में एक थे और 5 बीघे में अपने थे 10 बीघे में ठेके में थे और 5 बीघे में अपने थे और बरसात से जो है कोहरा पड़ने की वजह से बेकार हो गया पूरा खेत।
लगातार बारिश और इसी जिम्मेदारी के ऊपर हमारा जो जिम्मेदारों का दारोमदार था और कुछ फसलें जो हमारी नदी से मतलब नालों से बह चुकी हैं। सरकार से ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमारे जो जिम्मेदार लोग हैं उनको इस फसलों का मुआवजा या इनको कुछ ना कुछ मौके पर आके देख कर इनके हालात का जायजा लिया जाए।
Meanwhile, mango output has also suffered due to rains in Haldwani. Over 10 million hectares of crops were reported damaged due to heavy rains there. In Uttar Pradesh, almost 30% of the mango crop has been damaged, which could hit India's exports. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, militants struck thrice in Jammu and Kashmir today within a span of just 4 hours. One attack took place in the Shopian district of Kashmir where terrorists gunned down at least 3 policemen. The police personnel had gone to investigate a crime in a village when terrorists opened fire at them. Hours earlier, terrorists had shot at and critically injured a police officer in Patan in Baramulla district. The officer came under attack in a bus in which armed militants were also travelling. The third incident took place in Tral, in which a civilian was injured. According to the police, the civilian was attacked by militants on suspicion that he was a police informer. Around 800 more Indians have been evacuated from war-torn Yemen since last night. In one of the biggest rescue missions undertaken by the Indian Navy and the Air Force, close to 3,000 stranded Indians have been evacuated so far. The Defence Minister says almost all Indians caught in the crossfire will be brought back home.
Another 800 stranded Indians have been evacuated in the last 24 hours from Yemen. Navy, Air Force and Special Air India flights have so far rescued nearly 3,000 Indians. Around 200 foreigners have also been evacuated by the Indian forces. Early on Monday, Air India flights landed in Mumbai and Kochi with fresh batch of evacuees with their share of horrific experiences in war-torn Yemen.
Too much people stranded, and with that people cannot go outside with bus or any mode of transport, and the power is not there and water is not there, and in due course the food shortage will also be there.
हम लोग जब उधर से आया भूखा सा 3-4 दिन तो खाना ही नहीं मिला, थोड़ा बहुत पानी वगैरह कुछ था, मुड़मुड़ा था, बिस्किट थोड़ा था हम लोग खाया. तो फिर उधर से आया, हमारा इंडियन नेवी जैसा स्वागत किया हम लोग का, सिक्योरिटी के साथ साथ हम लोग का अच्छा फूड, अच्छा खाना, मेडिकल का बंदोबस्त सब कुछ अच्छे से किया सर.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar praised the efforts undertaken by the Indian forces amid heavy bombing in Yemen. Prime Minister also heaped praise on his ministers Sushma Swaraj and VK Singh for their coordination to execute the rescue mission without any casualty.
They have been doing very good job. I think by now almost 3,000 people have been evacuated, and by today evening I think almost all Indians, including some other foreigners also who were in desperate condition, have been shifted without single injury, single loss of life.
Meanwhile, ground situation in Yemen remains grim as fighting intensified in capital Sana'a and Aden. Heavy clashes between Houthi rebels and pro-government forces left around dozens killed. The Saudi-led coalition is planning to cut off supply to the rebels to wrest control over Aden.
We hope in a few days that they will control most of these cities. We assure that we cut all, and I show you the videos, we cut all movement toward Aden to make sure that they not have any supply.
The International Committee for the Red Cross has been granted approval to start sending aids to Yemen. With thousands of people without food and water for days now, humanitarian relief has hardly reached the war-torn nation so far after 10 days of offensive by Saudi-led airstrikes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India's first indigenously built Scorpene submarine was undocked by the Defence Minister in Mumbai today. Launched from the Mazgaon dock in Mumbai, Scorpene is the first of the 6 submarines being manufactured in collaboration with France. It is expected to be commissioned in 2016. The submarine can undertake various types of missions including anti-surface warfare, anti-submarine warfare, mine-laying, intelligence gathering and surveillance. The Navy currently has 13 aging diesel-electric submarines, only half of which are operational. However, Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar said that the new standard operating procedures have been initiated in the wake of recent Navy ships and submarines accidents in recent years.
We have reiterated whatever are the SOPs, made people responsible, accountable for it, told them very clearly that you should hammer these SOPs in the mind of every sailor, particularly more so on a submarine, because submarine environment is very congested and critical. You will find that there are no accidents now.
Meanwhile, senior Congress leaders met in New Delhi to discuss the preparations for a farmers' rally to be held on the 19th of April. Party General Secretary Digvijay Singh convened the meeting that discussed ways to oppose the land acquisition ordinance. The mega rally that could be held on the eve of the second phase of the budget session is among the series of steps the Congress will take to lodge its protest against the contentious land bill. Thousands of farmers are expected to take part in this rally that will be addressed by Party President Sonia Gandhi.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी प्रारंभ से ही किसान मजदूर विरोधी, गांव विरोधी रही है और ये उनकी नीतियों से परिलक्षित होता है। नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार पूरी तरीके से एक तरफ जहां मजदूर विरोधी है, वहीं किसान विरोधी भी है और गांव की जमीन हथियाकर बड़े लोगों को देना चाहती है।
All right, we'll go into a quick break here, but we are leaving you with visuals from BGP's 35th Foundation Day event as party workers skillfully lined up to form a massive human flag in the shape of the party symbol.
प्रधानमंत्री ने शुरू किया नेशनल एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स। जान सकेंगे शहर की आबो हवा का हाल, रंग बताएंगे वायु प्रदूषण का स्तर। देखिए पहली खबर, एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स, आज शाम 7 बजे।
विदेश वार्ताएं या फिर यात्राएं,
इराक संकट से जुड़ी खबरों से उधर अगवा की गई भारतीय
जहां भी है अंतर्राष्ट्रीय घटनाएं, हर जगह है राज्यसभा टीवी की टीम। भारतीय टेलीविजन का एक चमकदार चेहरा, राज्यसभा टीवी।
Unseasonal rain and hailstorms. The rabi crop is ravaged. Vegetables are destroyed. Debt is piling up. It's the farmers' worst nightmare.
हमारे छोटे छोटे बालक हैं, हमारे बेटा चले गए।
ये पूरी फसल हमारी नष्ट हो गई है।
March became the cruelest month. Watch it all in our special program, The Season of Distress, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's now get you some quick news updates from across the country. The Karnataka government has removed the 3-month time frame for the CBI to probe the death case of IS officer DK Ravi. This after the CBI refused to investigate the case in a time-bound manner. It objected to the Karnataka government's conditions for the probe, including a 3-month deadline to complete it. The CBI said that the state government cannot decide the scope of the investigation. The IS officer who had taken on the sand mafia in Kolar district was found hanging from a ceiling fan in his official residence in Bengaluru on the 17th of March. A Goa court has granted anticipatory bail to Fab India Scandalum store manager Chaitali Sawant in connection with a case of voyeurism. HRD Minister Smriti Irani had filed the case after finding a CCTV camera in the trial room of the store. The manager was underground since then and reached court for anticipatory bail. The Madhya Pradesh government ordered an SIT probe into the killing of a police constable allegedly by the sand mafia in Morena district on Sunday. State Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan held a high-level meeting into the incident. The CBI has resent the notice to TMC's General Secretary Subrato Bakshi seeking details in the Sharada chit fund scam. The agency sought details of the party's source of income and expenditure during 2010 to 2013. It's been given a week's time to respond to the notice. A fire broke out in a three-storied residential building in Uttar Pradesh's Meerut district on Monday morning, killing 6 people, including 4 children. The fire also left 2 others injured. Residents said the fire broke out after the petrol kept in the ground floor caught fire. 2 Aussie death row inmates have lost their appeal to challenge their clemency rejection in Indonesia. Both, however, pledged to fight on despite ambiguity over legal avenues available to avoid the death penalty. Diplomatic efforts to save the men have also backfired, and with this decision, the relation between Indonesia and Australia are bound to be further frayed.
Menolak gugatan perlawanan dari pelawan, menyatakan penetapan Ketua Pengadilan Tata Usaha Negara Jakarta nomor 29G 2015 Turun Jakarta tanggal 24 Februari 2015 dipertahankan.
No mercy is the ruling by an Indonesian court that rejected the attempt of 2 Australian drug smugglers who tried to challenge their executions. Andrew Chan and Mayuran Sukumaran are accused of being members of the drug group Bali 9. The court has ruled that they cannot challenge President Joko Widodo's decision to refuse them clemency. Both are due to face a firing squad for their role in a failed 2005 heroin smuggling plot.
I am not satisfied with the judgment today, but indeed we will have to respect what the court has decided. But it's not stopping us to give our continuous effort, and therefore we are about to file a constitutional review.
The ruling could further strain the relationship between Indonesia and Australia. In February, all living former Prime Ministers of Australia made a united plea for Indonesia to spare their lives. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop said, and I quote her now, "Both men have undergone extensive rehabilitation and I will continue to make representations to my counterpart, just as Australia will continue to use all diplomatic options to seek a stay of execution." Indonesia also faced criticism from other countries whose nationals are facing execution. But President Widodo, who took office last year, has been taking a tough stance on drug crime. In January, he authorized executions of 6 people, including 5 foreigners, convicted of drug offences. Chan and Sukumaran were arrested in Bali in 2005 while attempting to smuggle heroin to Australia. They were sentenced to death in 2006, but their families argued that they are now reformed characters and should be shown mercy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more international updates, here's Global Buzz. Bangladesh's Supreme Court today rejected the final review petition by convicted war criminal Mohammad Kamaruzzaman to overturn his death sentence. He was convicted for atrocities committed during the country's war of independence from Pakistan in 1971. The Jamaat-e-Islami leader was found guilty of genocide and torture of unarmed civilians in 2013. A severe storm in Bangladesh killed at least 24 people and injured several others. The strong winds also caused a lot of devastation, flattening several homes. Bogra district was among the worst affected areas. The Kenyan government has named the mastermind behind the university attack that took place last Thursday. Al-Shabaab leader Mohammed is believed to be the man behind the attacks, in which 147 people were killed. Kenya has offered a bounty of $215,000 to find the mastermind, slapping a most wanted notice against him. The world's largest Hadron Collider restarted. Europe's CERN Physics Research Center has restarted their Large Hadron Collider after 2 years. The restarting of the collider signifies a new journey into discovering dark matter. The machine had previously been shut down 2 years ago for a refit. The collider is also called the Big Bang LHC and is hoped to solve the mysteries of how the universe was created. Sports now, and Sania Mirza has won the doubles title at the Miami Open. Sania and her doubles partner, Swiss partner, Martina Hingis, defeated the second-seeded Russian pair of Elena Vesnina and Ekaterina Maskarova in straight sets in the final on Sunday. The top-seeded Indo-Swiss pair overcame a sluggish start to take the title with a 7-5-6-1 scoreline. Sania and Martina were trailing 2-5 in the opening set but regrouped and turned the tables on their opponents by winning 8 games in a row. This is Sania's 25th career title and also her second win with former world number 1 Martina Hingis in as many tournaments. They had beaten the same Russian pair to win the Indian Wells earlier. Following this win, Sania is only 145 points away from becoming the world number 1 doubles player in individual rankings. And let's get you more action now in Sports Beat. New Zealand beat India 2-1 in their second match in Aslan Shah Cup today. Kiwis took the lead through their skipper Simon Child in the third quarter of the match. India equalised moments later through Akashdeep, but the Kiwis scored another in the dying minutes of the match to score their second win in the tournament. India missed several chances in the match but failed to capitalise, and India began their campaign with a draw against South Korea on Sunday. World number 1 Novak Djokovic lifted the Miami Open trophy. He defeated Britain's Andy Murray in the final at Key Biscayne. This is Djokovic's 5th title at the Miami Open, followed by his triumphs at the Australian Open and the Indian Wells. And Cristiano Ronaldo scored 5 goals as Real Madrid thrashed Granada 9-1 in the La Liga encounter on Sunday. The FIFA Player of the Year hit a first-half hat-trick within 8 minutes after Gareth Bale's opener. The win puts Real Madrid a point behind leaders Barcelona on the league table. And that's it for the moment. Thanks so much for joining us.